think you might want me to come show up at your door.
Then let's start fading music then.
Time's the break.
5:15.
And then please stay here.
He can, yes, it's a half hour. So
Okay, let's do okay.
Okay, cool. All right. Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. I kind of feel weird. Yeah. All right. So welcome, everybody, to the 45th installment of the Lamrim. So 45 is a big number. Let's give a round of applause for that. I love that the room is completely full. Thank you, Sophie, for all of your hard work. You made this possible. Thank you so much. A second row. She's the one who's been lending us her credit card. We will pay you back, I promise. We started these programs in 2010, and they have grown in size and scope over the last 13 years. And Geshe recently made a promise to continue teaching all of this for at least 7 more years. So thank you so much for teaching us. And we're really excited to have so many people here from so many parts of the world. And especially, I'm very excited that we're having a second program at the same time where we're starting the Sedona College of International Management's Alumni Association. And so they're kicking off that program simultaneously with us here in Kyoto. So again, thank you very much for launching that. No. So I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I just want to say thank you very much for coming to Kyoto. Thank you for teaching us, and thanks for just thank you in general. Okay, thank you.
Hello, hi. Thank you all for coming. I know it's a long way to come here. We tried to choose a place in the middle of the world. So it means everybody has to travel a little bit, okay? So I hope, thank you for coming, and I know it's a long way, and I know it's a lot of money, and I know it takes your time. And I'm happy to come, happy to finish this book with you. This is called Lamrim, and it's the steps to the path to enlightenment. And I always tell this story. I was sitting with my wife and her mother many years ago, and her mother enjoyed reading books. And she asked me, Mike, she called me Mike. The funniest thing she used to say, when I'm driving, Mom will sit in the back, and she'd say, Mike, I said, what? You could drive a little faster. She's 90-something too, I think. She accused me of driving too slow. But she asked me, what's your favorite book in your life? And this is my favorite book in my life. And I love books, you guys know. And, you know, we have saved 12 million pages of books. But this is my favorite book. And my teacher taught me this book 3 times. It took 30 years. And so I'm actually pretty fast. Only 13 years so far. And we can finish pretty soon. This, as you probably know, was a teaching given by my teacher's teacher, named Pabonko Rinpoche. And his student was Trijang Rinpoche. Trijang Rinpoche was a young Lama. In Tibet, Lama means incarnated Lama. It doesn't mean Lama. In the monastery, Lama means you are the incarnation of another person. And usually the lamas are a little bit irritating young guys. And many of them hit me with their bicycles and things like that. And, but he was very unusual. And I guess, I don't know how old he was, maybe 20 or 25, but he sat in the teaching for 24 days. I think 1921 or something like that. And he listened to the teaching by his teacher. And then he made notes. And he worked on those notes, I think for 15 or 20 years. And he made this book called, some people call it Liberation in the Palm of Your Hands. The real title is A Gift of Liberation, put into the palm of your hand. So I like to call it a gift in the hands or something like that. And it means you don't have to try too hard to get enlightened. You just calm. Try not to fall asleep. Even if you fall asleep, there's a blessing. And they put the enlightenment in your hand, and you don't have to do so. You don't have to work so hard. It's kind of like a gift, free gift, you know. And that's the name of the book, and it was the greatest book, I think, ever written in Tibetan language. So this is sort of a monument to the Tibetan language. The Tibetan language died about 50 years ago, 45 years ago. It was killed, and it's gone. As a language, it's been destroyed. So this is the greatest book in the Tibetan language, I think, and it's a poetry. It's pure poetry, and so I like to, when I teach Lamrim, I like to read the Tibetan. I like to read it to you. And I know maybe you're not interested in Tibetan, but many people said that before, and I hooked them. So I think it's a blessing to hear this language. Linguistically, Tibetan is not related to any language in the world. It's a very strange language. If there's a tradition that says it dropped out of the sky, and I almost believe it. Like all of the languages we say from Iceland to Iran, they all come from Sanskrit, Greek, Latin, German, English. But this language is from somewhere else, from some other realm, and it's a beautiful language. So I hope you will get some seeds to learn it. But don't feel pressure, just enjoy, relax. This is the class where I also get to relax. I wear my usual clothes. I don't have to wear Seiji's suit. And I kind of enjoy myself. And I hope you enjoy yourself also. So just relax and enjoy. And I sat through 30 years of these classes. And it feels like we're not trying to finish a book. It feels like your whole life, for the rest of your life, I hope we can have Lamrim. So I don't have any idea to finish anytime soon. Okay, I'm not thinking we should finish and move on to the next thing. It's kind of, for me, I spent 25 years with my teacher in the same house, and he taught this book every week or something, and it was wonderful. And it's sort of a comfort to have someone to teach you the Lamrim every week or every month for your whole life. I think it's like going to the gas station in your car, and you run around for a week, and you go crazy in your job, and then you come back to the gas station called Lamrim, and you fill up your spiritual side. And then you run around again for a week, and then you go back to the Lamrim. So for me, it doesn't have to start, it doesn't have to finish, It's just kind of a comfort for your whole life. And I hope we can continue as long as possible. Tim mentioned, We started in 2010. We've been on it for 13 years. And we are 92% done with the text. And my plan, when I started this book 13 years ago, at the end of the book, they teach you meditation, shamatha and vipassana. They teach you how to meditate, and they teach you about emptiness at the end of the book, because it's the final two of the Bodhisattva's perfections. And I thought, because there's a tradition to meditate on Lam Rim, every time you learn a few pages of Lam Rim, it's tradition to meditate on it and try to incorporate it in your life and then move on to the next step. So I thought we should go to the end of the book and learn how to meditate. And then we go back to the beginning of the book, because we're supposed to meditate on each of the steps. And so when I started 13 years ago, I went to the end of the book, and I taught the last two perfections, meditation and wisdom. They are unusually short in this book. This book is 1,000 pages. And by the way, which is 8,000 pages in English. But I went to the end. It's kind of short. The section on meditation and on emptiness, at the end, it's kind of short, because he had Tsongkhapa's Lam Rim. And that was written about 500 years before this one. And that one's a similar pages. It's about 1,000 Tibetan pages, which is about 8,000 English pages. And in that one, the presentation of meditation and emptiness is extremely detailed. And it's one of the greatest explanations of emptiness and meditation in history. So I thought, when we reach that part, when we come back to the last two perfections, I will teach you from that book, from Tsongkhapa's Great Lam Rim. And then that's going to increase the years, okay? Because that's about half of his Lam Rim. That's about 4,000 pages in English, okay? So, and it's awesome. And so that's dessert, okay? So we'll finish this book, and we won't do the meditation and the wisdom, because I finished it already. And then we'll go to the Lam Rim Chemu. And that will take, I don't know, that will take 5 or 10 years, I guess. Okay? And it's amazing. It's really fantastic. Okay? So we're about 92% done. We've been talking about Lojong, okay? Which is how to develop bodhicitta, how to develop a love for all people, where you want to make them Buddhas. You want to make all people Buddhas. So we're in that section where they're talking about different ways to develop bodhicitta, the wish for enlightenment. That's where you want to become a Buddha so you can help everybody, okay? And he's been using a book from the Kadampa. So Kadampa, there's a modern Buddhist group called Kadampa. They took the name from some Buddhists 1,000 years ago. These were the early Buddhists in Tibet, first Buddhists in Tibet. Tibet was a non-Buddhist country. It was Bumbo, which is some kind of shamanism, very similar to the Siberia, some of the Siberian tribes, Tangut and Tengri, they call Tengri in Siberia. And these are special shaman teachings, and that was popular in Tibet. Then the Buddhists started to come over the Himalayas from India, and at the same time, India was attacked by people from the Middle East and Turkey, and Buddhism was wiped out in India completely. There's no Buddhists left in India. It was it was the motherland of Buddhism. It's where Buddhism started. But starting around 1200 years ago, it was wiped out completely. And so it's like a guy jumping off a ship. Buddhism jumped off the ship called India and jumped into Tibet. And then it was destroyed in India. So, and the Tibetans didn't even have writing at that time. They just have yaks. And they are just, taking care of yaks. And they invented an alphabet, and they invented writing for their country. And they started to write down Buddhism. And they went crazy. The whole country went crazy. And they become the greatest Buddhists in history, I think. And they, we're cataloging 400, 500,000 books. They wrote 400, 500,000 books on Buddhism. And they are high quality. Every book is amazing. Every book is like Shakespeare. It's unbelievable. 500,000, 500,000 books about Buddhism. Each one is different, and each one is amazing. And very, very accurate, highly accurate. So today we're going to study a teaching that was popular 1,000 years ago in Tibet. And it was brought to Tibet by Lord Atisha, who was born, I think, 982, so 1,000. And we're working on a book. Seiji, you want to raise your hand? Seiji Rao, he's one of our translators. And he's the vice president of DCI and SCIM. He works very hard. Because of his hard work, I get salary. And God bless you, and please live a long life. And so I don't have to worry about money. I have this good salary, and because of his work. And he asked, can I be a translator? Can I learn how to translate? This was 7 or 8 years ago. And we started, and he finished a very great book of poetry that was written 1,000 years ago. And right now we are cleaning up the book. And it's an extraordinary book, and it's by someone named Dharmarakshita. And his student was Atisha. And Atisha was a great Indian master who came to Tibet. He agreed to come for 6 months or something. And then there was a war, and he stayed for 12 years. And he helped to start Buddhism in Tibet. So we're going to read some poetry which is from his times, and this is called Lojong Dunduma. It's 7 topics about how to become a Buddha, okay? And it's very, very sweet. If you took the ACI courses, I think it's in course number 14. When I first taught ACI courses in 1990s in New York, course number 13 is Buddhist logic. I think Rob was there, I don't know. And I lost half of my students. Half of my students quit, really. And I was a little bit worried about it, So after I finished the logic course, I decided to do Lojong because it's so friendly. Lojong is so friendly, accessible, powerful, sweet. So I started Lojong, and I taught this Lojong in that course. But he goes deeper. He goes much deeper. So we're about halfway through a book called the 7-Point Lojong. It's not really 7 points, it's 7 sections. And each section has maybe 20 ideas in it. And we're gonna continue through that. Okay? That's where we are. And I'll show the Tibetan on the screen. Where is the screen? Yeah. And don't get nervous, okay? You don't have to learn Tibetan. Many people said, I'm not going to learn Tibetan. Wordsmith said, I'm not going to learn Tibetan. Now he's the best teacher of Tibetan. So just relax. Learn a few words. It's okay. It's like my Japanese or like my Chinese. like ni hao, wei shema, you know, and you can learn a few words. It's good luck for your next life. Okay, so just relax. You don't have to memorize anything. This is a comfortable class. I am talking to your subconscious, okay, and it will change your heart, even you don't want to. This teaching will change your heart, okay. I'm also going to show pictures, which I call idam. Idam means idea, image, and I'll show you a picture to help you remember the main ideas, okay? You don't even have to remember the Tibetan word. Just remember the picture, okay? And each picture will have a meaning, okay? And Geshe-la's habit is to hand out $100 bills to people who can tell me what's the picture, okay? So just relax and, you know, try to remember what the picture means. This is how I used to memorize the books. Chanam sache zabamen nama dobe tujina sache kanju de la sanam kundu gebege samen langi de madandu machina senya de nanga dani gobani de la nanga madebo, like that. And I will connect a picture to each idea. And then I could memorize the whole book, you know. So pictures are very powerful. I think that's why Chinese language is so powerful, so efficient, because it's based on pictures. So learn the pictures, look at the pictures, try to remember what the picture means. Maybe you can win $100. And actually $100 is usually 100 lifetimes of happiness, if you can answer the question, okay? So try to learn the pictures. And I will test you tomorrow. I'll show you the picture and I'll say, who can tell me what's this picture? And then don't be all nervous and just relax and have fun, okay? Lam-rim is fun. It's not like those other courses, okay? All right, not like SCIM or difficult things, DCI, okay? So here's the first picture, okay? And I have fun choosing the pictures. Yeah, it's a lady saying goodbye, okay? And the subject that we're on is poa, okay? Poa means how to die well, okay? Dying well. And I'm not allowed to teach this stuff in DCI. I'm not allowed to teach this stuff in SCIM. I'm not allowed to teach this stuff much in YSI. I'm allowed to teach it in Lam-rim, okay? And this is the important stuff, okay? So how to die and how to move on, you know? And even if you're not planning on dying, trust me, everyone else didn't plan on dying either. But they die, people die. We will die. So you have to get ready, and you have to know how to die. And, you know, I went to Princeton University, second year now, it's #1 in the world, the university, but they don't teach how to die. There's no course how to die. And we are lucky to have Lam-rim. We are lucky to have some instructions how to die well, okay? And, you know, you can learn how to be a doctor and you can learn how to be an engineer, but you're not sure you're going to be a doctor and you're not sure you're going to be an engineer. But when you learn how to die, you're going to use that degree, definitely, okay? So, and learn it while you're young, and then you don't have to worry later, okay? Learn it now. And if you don't die for 20 years, that's nice. But you might die tomorrow, so it's helpful. It's really helpful. And I taught many students who died, okay? You are younger. They were younger than you, okay? So, all right, here we go. She's saying goodbye. Let's go back to the Tibetan, you guys. Chirnakebu chungu tabuni. Go down, you guys, to the... go down, 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 down. Go past the bold. More. These are just my notes. There we go. Okay. So they're talking about poa. Poa means how to die well, and how to go to the next place well. Poa means to travel to the next world, okay? And here he says, minimum, when you die, try to remember the three jewels, okay? Minimum, while you die, try to remember the three jewels. Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, okay? Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. The jewel Buddha, jewel Dharma, jewel Sangha is different from Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. Not the same thing. Buddha is a person, Dharma is the books, Sangha is the monks or nuns. But the jewel, the sambal, three jewels, that's a completely different thing, okay? And each one means emptiness. Each one refers to emptiness, okay? Buddha means the real protector in Buddhism is the emptiness of the Buddha, okay? Not even the physical body, but the emptiness of the Buddha. We don't go to a Buddhist temple and worship statues. That's not Buddhism, okay? Go to a Buddhist temple, light incense, give it to the Buddha. It's not Buddhism, okay? Buddhism is to understand what is a Buddha, and the Buddha is emptiness, okay? Buddha is emptiness of Buddha. When you take refuge in that, the Buddha's emptiness, okay? That's what can protect you, not Buddha, okay? Dharma means the perception of emptiness, okay? By an Arya. Who sees emptiness directly? That seeing is Dharma. It's not the books. It's not the holy books. It's not the translations. It's the emptiness. It's to see emptiness. That's Dharma. That's Dharma jewel. Sangha? Anyone who saw emptiness directly. Okay, that's real Sangha. So we don't believe in Buddhism that you worship Buddha, or even the books are Buddhism. We don't believe that. It's the emptiness that the Buddha has. It's the understanding emptiness which is in the books, and it's the people who saw emptiness directly, touched the diamond world. They are real protection. Those three things are protection. There's a very famous sad joke that when Buddha was alive, his town was attacked, and many people said, "Oh, we have Buddha in our town," and they ran to the Buddha's house, and they grab onto the Buddha's clothes, and they hold on, and then the soldiers came in and killed them, holding the Buddha's robe, and just killed them. They tried to take refuge. They go for protection to the physical Buddha. It cannot help you. They all died. All those people died, okay? What protects you is the emptiness of the Buddha, the emptiness. How to say it positively? All things come from seeds. All things come from seeds. That's protection. That can help you. That's sambal. That's the three jewels, okay? If you understand that, you're a Buddhist. If you don't understand that, I don't think you are a Buddhist, okay? Once you understand about the pen, you're a Buddhist, okay? I'm not allowed to teach Buddhism in many places, but I teach the pen. Okay, understand? And and if you don't understand the pen, then you're not a Buddhist, okay? And then we can't help you. It's not going to help you, okay? So here he says minimum, poor, minimum poor. Kebu Chungo means minimum. Please remember the three jewels as you die. As you die, think about the pen, think about emptiness, think about seeds as you die. Minimum, okay? Minimum means that will protect you personally. It will not help other people much, okay? If you can die, as you die, remember seeds, where things come from. It will help you to die. You will die better. You will go to a better place, okay? Everybody wants to go to heaven after they die. Someone asked me, a Chinese person asked me this week, now I lay me down to sleep, ask the Lord my soul to keep, if I die before I wake, ask the Lord my soul to take. We learned this prayer when we are 6 years old, 5 years old. It means it's a Christian prayer. And our parents teach us before we sleep. And we have to recite it to our parents before we sleep. And it means, if I die tonight, please, Jesus take me, or God, please take me. It's like that. It's a motivation for when you die, okay? And in Buddhism, if you can die and remember the seeds, you will have a good poa. You will have a good rebirth, okay? Everybody's like, I don't know, hold this rock from holy place where Buddha was walking or something like that. And when you die, try to hold this rock or something. And that's not protection, okay? That won't help you much. Remember seeds. Remember about seeds while you die, and you will go to a good place. Everybody, they do mantras, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. Why are you doing mantras? When I die, I want to go to Amitabha's heaven. Forget it. Just remember the pen, okay? Om Mani Padme Hum never sent you to heaven, okay? Remember the pen and then die. Then you will go to heaven. If there's a joke here later, okay, about it. All right? By the way, this book is, in the beginning of the book, the writer said, we went to the talk by my teacher. He taught for 24 days, all day. I think no pee-pee breaks. I don't know how he did it. He taught for 24 days, and we went. Sometimes we cry, sometimes we laugh, sometimes we fall asleep. But he's, this one is kind of funny. He says, just try to remember about the pen or remember about seeds, and then if you die, you're safe. You will go to a good place. Yourself. If you have higher goal, if you want to help more people, then he says, Changsem Gom Shindu Po so good. As you die, try to remember bodhicitta. As you die, try to think, I would like to help all people in the world. Okay, I'm dying now, and I wish soon I can become Buddha to help everybody. I wish that, and then die like that. Then that's a perfect poa. Okay, that's a good poa. You don't need Vajrayana, Tantra, secret way. This is Vajrayana, okay? I want to help everybody. Die this way. And that's a good death. And you will go to a good place, okay? That's protecting yourself, okay? Okay. By the way, you won't remember all this until you get really sick. And then you will remember all this. I'm putting information in your mind for that day. You're going to forget it until then. When they put you in the hospital and the doctor's like, or your family's like, you're going to be fine, and the doctor's like, then you're going to say, Geshe said something. In Kyoto, I remember. So it's good to have the information in your mind, and when you need it, you can use it, okay? Hopefully you don't get hit by a car quickly. You have some good cancer, slow cancer, and you have time to remember everything, okay? It's better, it's really better, okay? All right, next picture. This is a nice picture of my wife. She's wonderful. She's saved my life. And we like to go riding on the beach, and we have special bicycle to go on the beach. And this one's called, well, I'll teach it to you first. Dakshin du Duluk Menyamna. So, how do I get to a Buddha paradise after I die? What should I do as I die? Okay. Nyamna, de ngepa yete. There is a way. You can send yourself to a Buddha paradise as you die. You can do it. You just have to know how. Okay. Chekawa da kawa Dakar ne la chepala urshom. So Chikawa is the author of the 7-point Lojo, okay? One of the Kadampas. He didn't write it, he wrote it down for the public. Before that, it was kind of secret. And Atisha learned it in Indonesia. So there are some cool people from Indonesia. Okay. Surabaya mostly. Okay. So Chikawa, he was the first person to publicize it. But Atisha learned it in Indonesia from Suvarna Dvipa Guru, whose name was also Dharmakirti, but that's a different Dharmakirti, okay? So anyway, Chekawa, da means he was ready to die. He was dying. And Nela Chipa, he wanted to go to the hell realms. It's a very funny story. So the person who wrote the book that we're studying this week, who wrote that, he said, when I die, my goal is to go to the hell realms, okay? And I'm going to help people there. He made a plan like that. Daka Nina, when he was getting ready to die, he made some final offerings. Chupa la Ursham, he tried very hard to make offerings. Dang. Nge semjen tamche dundu narme du dora mumba che kyang. He prayed, I want to go to Narme. I don't, not just I want to go to hell to help the people there. When I die, I want to go to the lowest hell. Okay, this hell is unbelievable. Narme means, I don't know, it's like someone stabbing you with a knife all the time, no break. Narme means no, not even 2 minutes break. It's like stabbing you with a knife or burning you. And he prays to go there. He's praying to go there because he will help the other people. They say Lord Buddha got bodhicitta in the hell realms. They say Lord Buddha got his bodhicitta in the hell realms. Okay, so Chikawa's like, I hope I can go to hell. I hope I can go to hell. The worst hell. Mamba Che Kyang. Then when he was dying, he's like, "Rah, rah, rah," you know, and the students are, you okay? Oh, you okay? No, I'm not okay. And they're like, is it a lot of pain? Are you in a lot of pain? No, I'm not in pain. What's going on? I want to go to hell. What's going on? I keep going to Amitabha's heaven. I don't want to go there. And he got very angry. He's very upset. I don't know. Every time I want to help the hell people, then the karma is I start to go up to the Amitabha's heaven, you know? And he's angry. He's very upset. Okay, so don't try not to have too much love when you die. Okay, try to be angry or jealous, and then you can go to help people. Okay, and he went to the heaven. He went to Amitabha's heaven. He was very upset. He's like, okay, because he wants to help the people in hell. Okay, so that motivation, poa, that's real poa. Che Kyang Mindora means he wasn't able to go to the hell. Takshingi Nawa Shar Chung. Instead, he just could see that he's going to go to the heavens, you know, and he's going to go to the Buddha paradise. Okay, Takshin Shar Chung Sungandang. Geshe Potoe Kyang Deshin Zetsu. There was another Geshe. Geshe started about 1,000 years ago, and there was one named Potoa, and he also did the same. Okay. Ngar Mame Ni Chukir would say there was a case where there was a mother and a daughter who were dragged away in the river. They fell in the river, and the river they were drowning in the river. Nike Pensen Sansambo Kepe. And they each tried to help the other to survive. Each one tried to save the other one, okay? So each one's trying to hold up the other one, okay? Sambakeni. Then because their last hope was to help their family person in person, they both went to the Buddha paradise, okay? And it's a very sweet story. Mom's trying to save the daughter, push her towards the land. daughter's trying to save the mom and push her towards the land. And because each one is trying to save another person, they both have to go to the heaven together, okay? So that's dying with a higher motivation, okay? To die with a higher motivation. Okay, next picture, you guys. Yeah, and by the way, if you so when you see that picture of my wife, can you go back? It means sometimes you want to help people. If you want to help people in suffering, that karma will push you to really beautiful places, really, really beautiful places. Okay. Even you don't want to go, it will push you. So when you see this picture, I want you to say, oh, Geshe was trying to go exhaust himself at some program, and instead he was forced to go to the beach and ride on the bicycle with Vajrayogini. Okay, all right, okay. So when you see this picture, you're gonna say, oh, those people who try to help other people, accidentally they go to heaven. They don't want to go. Okay. The picture before that was, when you say goodbye, at least try to remember the three jewels. And if you can remember trying to help all people, then that's a good way to say goodbye. So tomorrow you can make $100 if you remember. Grandpa's very easy. I mean, I give $100 if you even close to the right answer, right? Okay, so just remember a little bit, okay? You can get rich this way. Ask Wordsmith. How do you think he support all these girls? 4 girls, right? Lydia's a girl. Okay, yeah. All right, ngātsa hikdam pet serwe poala. Let's go to the, oh, I'm sorry. Oh yeah, okay. Yang loke chase goa teng chida. Goa means, in Tibet, there's many, many rivers, everywhere, because that's where the Himalaya mountains are. So the snow melts a lot. And you can walk half a mile, you will hit a river. All the 4 great rivers of this world come from the Tibetan mountains. Mekong, the Yellow River, the Ganges River. These rivers all come from the same place. So you can't, you go a little place in Tibet, you hit a river. And they did not have bridges. So they had koa. Koa means you take tree branches and you make a frame, and then you take a yak skin and you make a little boat. And they're very powerful, they're very strong. You can put a horse or a couple horses on one and get them across a river. That's called koa. How did I learn that word? I learned all my Tibetan from my teacher, my dear teacher, Ken Rinpoche. And one day the toilet overflowed, and all the poo-poos came out like on the river. And he said, oh, it looks like koa. I said, what's koa? He said, it's the leather boat in Tibet, and it looks exactly like that. And he said, clean it up. So I always remembered, okay, koa. He says, there was a koa that was going to sink. Pangchen is the ancient word for an important messenger. Okay, what's the other common word for messenger? Ponya, yeah, ponya, which means your tantric partner. Okay, messenger. Pangchen is another word for the same thing. Pangchen. Okay, Pangchenpa, and he sacrificed himself. He decided he will jump into the river and he will die, so the koa will get lighter and the other passengers will survive. So he volunteered. He didn't tell anybody. He just jumped off. Immediately he jumped off the koa and he died. Okay. Samsamuke de chul chong kyang mashiwa, but he didn't die. He wanted to die. so that the other people will survive. Ja Sukpa Chungwa. And then a rainbow came and struck him. Chungwa tar sem song so kyepa chen chan chuki sem chuma tsun sel tapana ne sawa kyewa tatsome. And then he was taken off to a Buddha paradise. Okay, he jumped in the river to save the other passengers, and then this rainbow hit him, and he disappeared on the rainbow. This is a rainbow at Diamond Mountain. I just thought it was a nice rainbow. We have nice rainbows there. You should come. If you don't learn to do some deep retreat in your life, you wasted your life, okay? You can miss a few months of work. You won't remember after 6 years or 5 years, okay? But you gotta do some retreat, okay? You gotta do some retreat. Do some retreat, okay? Very, very important, okay? You miss a year of work or something, or they don't choose you vice president of the year or something. That's okay. That's not going to help you when you die. But the retreat will help you. I gave up many positions to do my retreats. And then they came anyway, right? It's like jumping in the water. Okay. So, okay. Then there's okay, let's go to the next picture you got. Or let's go to the text. You ready? Let's go to the text. Yeah. Ngātso hikdang fet. Say hik. Fet. Fet is a very strange word in Tibet. There's no F in Tibetan. They don't have F. But they have one. It's called fet. And it means like, it's like another F word, you understand? Very strong word. You know, like fet. You go this mudra, fet. You know, fet. And then fet means boom, you know. And there's a tradition in some Tibetan traditions, when you die, if you go fet, 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 you will go to a good place. Or it's called hick. Then somehow you go to a holy place. Do you think it will work? No, it's nothing to do with your motivation, right? I mean, you can kill somebody and say, hick, hick, fet, fet. You know, the word not going to take you to heaven, okay? But there's some traditions in Tibet, it's mistaken. And they say, oh, just say fet, fet. And if it's possible to go to a Buddha paradise because you said fat, fat, then Buddha won't teach so many sutras. We just have one sutra called the Fat Sutra. Fat, you know, it's funny, you know, and they say, oh, it's secret, you know. Just say fat, you will be born in an Amitabha's paradise, you know. So if that's true, why didn't Buddha teach everybody? You know, it doesn't make sense, you know. Buddha wants everyone to go to paradise. If you can just say fat, fat, and it takes you to the paradise, then why come to Lam Rim? Why there's 300,000 scriptures, you know? If just everybody can learn hick and fat, and it doesn't make sense, and it doesn't make sense. It's not true. Okay, they're cheating people. It's like terrible. I call it selling fire extinguishers that don't work. It's like if you're a very bad person and you have a fire extinguisher company and you know they don't work, but you sell them to everybody. And then when there's a fire, they like, you know, and then they die or it hurts them. You see what I mean? To teach people, oh, just hick, fet. You know, it's like selling fire extinguisher that doesn't work. It's mean to tell people that it doesn't work. Okay, all right. It's a little bit harder than that. Right? Okay, so fet sewe pola gang cher che kyang. I know you guys are interested in the fet. Poetak temple had such a, and it's true that some people who did a lot of picture. If you do a lot of yoga and you move your prana, sometimes you go fat, or you know, the prana will move. It's like burping, really, okay? Fat, or fat. And he says, look, some people do yoga. Did it happen to you? I don't know. When I stretch certain muscles, when I do my yoga and I stretch the back, did you see me, Rob, in the gym? I'm like burping. If I stretch certain muscles, they open, and the wind comes, and I'm like, blah. My wife doesn't like it. But that's just chi. That's just lung. That's just prana. It's not some spiritual thing. It's just physical thing. It's like your stomach when you're hungry. It goes here fat, here fat. It's not gonna help you. Okay, your stomach's not giving you secret mantra. It's just hungry. Okay, so it's just a natural sound that comes out of your body. Okay, and don't think it's something special, and it's not gonna help you. You know, don't waste your time. When you do yoga, you release prana, and sometimes you will burp, or you will fart, and that's very good for you. The prana's moving, but it's not gonna take you to heaven. Okay, all right. So you cannot reach heaven by farting. Okay, ask your wife. She'll let you know, especially in the bed at night, right? Okay, sometimes it happens. All right, hik magda jangna. Chizu tu potak tumbasok jumade. Lungi chul yimba. Lungi chul, if you're interested in yoga, lungi chul is a good expression. Can you show the Tibetan again? Lung means prana. Chul means movement of prana. What do you call it? Adventitious movement of prana. It's just like a burp or a fart or something. The prana jerks and it moves. It's called chul. And chul kor is the ancient word for yoga asana. And it means machine. It means the machine of the body. Yantra in Sanskrit. Yantra, not tantra, but yantra. And it means the machine of the body. So chul here means, look, there's going to be some spontaneous movement of the prana inside of you, but that's not an enlightened thing, and you're not going to heaven or something. It's the same as burping or farting, which is, by the way, it's a healthy thing when you're doing yoga. It's moving, prana's moving. So be, if you're in a group of yogis that you know them and you know each other, it's fine. Sweating, farting, burping, these are all healthy for your body during asana practice. During asana. When you sweat, a lot of poison comes out of your body. That's why you sweat. So if you sweat a lot, you're lucky. Okay? All right. Sweat was invented by the body to carry toxins out of the body. So it's a good thing. Okay? Lungik chu. But he says here, true, look, it's just a boop of the prana. Prana boop. Boop. Then don't don't get excited, okay? And if you really want to go to Amitabha's paradise after you die, the main way is to pray for other people when you die. Okay? The main way is to pray for other people when you die. Okay? And that's a trick about dying. Tim, what time I go to? 5:15. Do I do Q&A? Okay, I'll start a Q&A in 7 minutes, okay? I always tell people you have 3 choices. Number 1, if you're a good person, you ask me something to do with this class. Secondly, if you're not such a good person, you can ask me any personal question, I don't care. Okay, and I heard every question in the universe. I didn't hear a new question for 20 years or something. Okay, so any terrible question about your personal life, we're all friends. We all have the same problem, but we don't want to talk about it. And you can ask me personal questions. I don't have any problem at all. I'm fine. Any question is fine. If something's bothering you, or you have a personal challenge in your life, or your marriage, or your family, or something, I'm happy to talk about it. And we don't talk about it outside the room, am I right? We don't say, oh, Maria had this problem, did you know? Okay, agree? We don't talk about other people's problems. So give people the freedom to ask a personal question, okay? And then thirdly, if you want a philosophy question, I'm happy to answer a philosophy question. Personally, I like all questions, so I don't really care. So it's fine to ask me about the class, it's fine to ask me about your personal life, or it's fine to ask me about, you know, some weird emptiness question like Peter Myrtle will ask, okay? So that's why he's a good teacher. Okay. Okay, Ngotsa Chegime. Okay. He said, don't, you know, it's not a big deal if your body makes some weird noises when you're doing yoga, and that's not connected to dying well, okay? Next picture. Okay, and yeah, we're going to talk about closing the door, and it's called Ngensong Gikego Kik. Ngensong means animal rebirth, hungry ghost rebirth, hell rebirth, 3 lower rebirths, okay? Go kick means to close the door or slam the door. So the picture, if I ask you tomorrow for $100, what's this picture? You're going to say, close the door to the lower realms as you die. As you die. There's certain things you can use. There's certain ideas you can think about when you die, and you cannot be born in the lower realms. The best one is the pen. The best one is the pen, okay? If you really understand the pen, and it doesn't matter you're Buddhist or not Buddhist, it doesn't matter at all. If you really understand the pen, you cannot take a lower birth. It's not possible, okay? That's unbelievable. That's why Grandpa teaches the pen everywhere. Even you heard it before. Because I'm trying to close your door. Okay? And I don't tell the DCI audiences, and you know that. But I never let them get away without the pen. Okay? Because I'm trying to keep them out of the lower realms. Okay? If you understand the pen well, you cannot be born as an animal. You cannot go to the hells. You cannot be a ghost. You will be born at least as a human, okay? So it's important. The reason Grandpa repeats it over and over again is not because I forgot. Some guy told me in Singapore, I'm sorry, he wasn't from Singapore, okay? He said, Geshe, can I get my money back? Why? You forgot you taught the pen last year. I'm like, no, I didn't forget I taught the pen last year. I'm trying to do something else for you. Okay, all right? Okay. And if you really want to help people, then teach them the pen over and over again, okay? Just teach the pen over and over again. You know? I teach it all the time. I'm like on an airplane. I teach it to the person sitting next to me. They think I'm crazy. You know, they're like, I don't want to know about that. I'm like, I don't care. All right. No, imagine you save someone from going to hell in 2 minutes on the airplane. That's pretty good. One lady sit down next to me, and I'm like, how can I teach her the pen, you know? And she has a book, and she's staring at me, and then she showed me, it's the Diamond Cutter business book. And she pointed to my picture, she said, and I'm like, yeah, and she says, I was just wondering if I ever can meet you in my life. I said, you need to know about the pen. It was fun, it was in England, yeah. It was cool. Okay, closing the door. Lojongge poa la hikdan fet mekyang. When you do your poa, when you die with lojong, when you die with these instructions about how to be a good person, okay? Poa la mekyang, You don't go and you don't go fat. Okay? But sabshe means it's much more deep than those weird tantric things that some people teach. Okay? Like, what do you call what's it called? Shakya Chambo, Mahamudra, or stuff like that. Weird stuff. Mahamudra, what's the other thing? Dzogchen, all that stuff, forget it. Just forget it, okay? Teach somebody to love other people. That's the best tantric way to get to a good rebirth, okay? Care about other people, take care of other people, okay? Pray for other people as you die. It takes discipline. You have to do it a lot, okay? Sabshe di yinbe, poa shen nyam se lang kyang, chika ngen song kek go kek, mi kek, tetsom ye. Tetsom ye, kek mi kek tetsom ye means, if you do all those other things, hik, or fet, it's not sure whether you are closing the door to the lower realms or not. It's not certain that you will succeed with all those weird things like Dzogchen and all these other things. You don't need them. They're not going to help you. They might work and it might not work, so don't use it. Okay? All right. We want to try to die with the 5 powers. And the next part of this book is called The 5 Powers for Dying Well. By the way, dying, you all look too serious. Okay? You're looking very serious, you know. Oh, Geshe-la's teaching dying. You know, you should be happy, you know. You should be like silly, you know, like Sugang. You should be like, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die so goddamn good. You know, this is great. This is great stuff. You know, I'm so happy he's not teaching DCI. You know, we're learning how to die. Finally, somebody teaching me how to die. God bless, you know. And you should be happy and relaxed. If you know how to die, it's like not a big thing, okay? And you can see where you're going, you know when you're going, you know where you're going afterwards, and you just relax about it, okay? It's like taking a subway or something, okay? You don't worry about it. You don't get too serious about it. I had a doctor recently, you were there, I think. The one in Flagstaff, she said, if this happened and this happened, you're gonna die like that, you know? And it's gonna be terrible. And I'm like, okay, you know. And she's like, she says, do you? She said, she asked me. She doesn't know what I do. She doesn't know my occupation. She says, do you meditate? And I said, a little bit. And she's like, you don't seem scared, you know. Okay, so. Should be relaxed and happy. If you don't learn how to die, you should be nervous. If you learn how to die, you should be relaxed and have a good time before you go. You know, and okay, I'm gonna go. I'm taking the bus, and I know where it's going, and I know what to do, and I'm okay. And then just you should not be so serious in this class. Okay, all right. Questions. And I feel better if Tim choose. Do you feel comfortable, Tim, to choose the questions? Okay. By the way, keep coming to Lamrim, okay? We'll come to Kyoto as much as we can, but keep coming. It's good for you. It's really important, okay? And we won't charge you. There's no charge for the class, okay? You make it here, you're okay. If Tim charge you, let me know. Okay. All right. Okay. Welcome. Oh, microphone's not working, I think. Ivan. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, good question.
Geshe, could you repeat the question, please?
I'm
for
going to
online?
repeat the
Thank you.
question. Yeah. Let's say I do the right practice. Let's say I die with bodhicitta, and I do go to a Buddha paradise. Well, what happens after that? Normally, do you stay there until you become a Buddha, or do you have to come back here and suffer some more, and then go back to Buddha paradise, and then learn some more, and like that? So generally, if you die this way, you go to a Buddha paradise, you study with a Buddha or many Buddhas there, and then you're finished, and you get to stay there. You get to stay there permanently, okay? So it's a good place, it's a good career move to go to the Buddha paradise, okay? And they will teach you until you become a Buddha. You don't have to come back here. You can come if you want to help people, but you don't have to. Yeah, like that, okay? And it's beautiful to... By the way, you can see where you're going if you meditate a lot. You can see what's next. If you see emptiness, you can see 500 years ahead. Okay? You can see where you're going. And then it's much more comfortable. Maybe one person out of 100 million knows where they're going. And they don't feel nervous, and they don't feel scared, and they're fine. Everything's fine. You know where you're going. When you can see emptiness directly, and then you die, I mean, when you see emptiness directly, you see where you're going next. And you even see who's going to take care of you when you're a kid. You can see the teachers. You know who's the teachers. So it's very relaxed, you know. You're like, oh, I know where I'm going. I know who's going to teach me. And they're really nice people. Super nice people. And you meet them when you're just a baby. And they'll take care of you. And you won't remember for about 15 years who you are. And they will take care of you. You make the karma that very, very good people will take care of you until you remember who you are. And it's very beautiful. And you see it directly. So, you know, you're on an airplane and the plane starts going like this, and everyone's like, ah, and you're like, yeah, okay. Like, you know what's coming. So. And it's a wonderful feeling, you know, to know where you're going and to be sure and to just relax. Then you can really enjoy life. I think most people cannot enjoy life because they're deep down they're scared. I don't care if they are, you know, great soldier or something. Everyone's scared to die. I don't care who you are. People who commit suicide are super scared to die. They're so scared they kill themselves, you know. So if you can touch emptiness directly, then you know where you're going, you know how you're going to die, and you can relax, and the pressure's off. And then you can really have fun in this life. I think only a person who knows how to die can have fun. They can really have fun. Okay? All right. Tim.
Thank you. Thank you, Geshe Michael, for teaching
Yeah, it was
us.
so fun to be at your wedding.
Thank you.
She looks so beautiful, oh my God.
Thank you. I want to ask you about the... sometimes I'm help a cancer foundation, and there are families who has kids with cancer, and the parents and the kids are asking why I have this illness and why I have to be in a hospital. And they are making a lot of questions, but it's so hard to say where is this coming from, because they are in a very deep pain. And what is the best way, because we cannot say what is the cause, but what is the best way to help them to have answers and practice to get better seeds?
Yeah, good question. Okay. There's yesterday in the car from the airport, I was translating something, and I got an email from Aisha Skopoulos, Anatole Nguyen's wife, and she's helping us find Sanskrit books. And I asked her, you know, there's these caves in China, in the edge of the Gobi Desert, and they're called Dunhuang caves. And they found many books there in a secret wall, behind a secret wall. And they found over 3,000 books, right, Stanley? Something more. And I was curious what those books are. How good are the books there? You know, I was curious. Did the guy who put the books there 1,400 years ago? Did he know what he's doing or not? I was curious, and I asked Aisha to make a list. And it's very hard to find a list because all the books were stolen by different governments. The British government stole a lot, the French government stole a lot, the Russian government stole a lot, the American government stole a lot. And it's very hard to even find out the names of the books. And she worked hard, and she found almost all of them. And she made a list. And I was checking the list, and I was like, whoa, this guy knows what he's doing. You know, I don't know who's this guy in the cave, but he really knows what he's doing. And there are 8 levels of teaching there. I call it the 8 languages. There's 8 different Buddhist languages. Okay. It's so nice to be able to say the word Buddhist in a talk. I'm always like, boom. So there's 8 different levels of Buddhism. And 6 or 7 of them are, what do you call it? They're not the real answer, okay? They're lower schools of Buddhism. All the 8 schools of Buddhism, or the 8 languages of Buddhism, and we're covering all of them in our translation team. And they're all in Dunhuang. All of them are in Dunhuang, which to me means that guy knew what he's doing, you know. But there's lower presentation and there's higher presentation, which means when you teach a group of people, any teacher who teaches a group of people, first you have to watch their faces, you know. If they go like this, then you have to change your language. You have to move down the language to a lower language, you know. And then if they go like, or they fall asleep, you have to change the language again. Every time Buddha taught, Buddha used one of 8 different languages, depending on the students, okay? Some students are super smart. They're like, you know, like Sugang when I first met him. I mean, he came to a talk with 1,500 people at the trade union auditorium in Singapore. I picked him out to Jenny Wong. Do you remember? I said, go get that guy. He understands. He's like, you know. And if you see, so you move up and down the language ladder. It's the same in the cancer ward for the children, okay? How much can you tell the children? How much can you tell the parents? You have to be a Buddha, and you have to adjust your language. You have to try this language. If they look confused, or it's hurting them or something, then you go down. And you go down, 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 down until they look happy. And then you communicate on that level. And you communicate on that level for a while. And then you move up to the next level and move up to the next level. So it's constant for all teachers, all Buddhist teachers. Even you're just a volunteer in a children's cancer hospital, you have to speak the language of your audience. And we have an example called Buddha. He's the example. Buddha gave us example. You know, I told my friend. I'll tell you a funny story. I used to take the bus to work because I don't want to spend the money to buy a car. For 19 years, I do 4 hours every day on the bus. For 19 years, I take the bus because I want to give the money to the monastery. And I didn't buy a car. And so one night the bus broke down. 2 hours, you know, but the guy said, everybody get off, you know. And we're like, what? He says, the next bus is coming in half an hour or 1 hour. They will stop. And we're like, it's cold, it's winter in New Jersey. I'm so glad I don't live in New Jersey anymore. It's cold and it's terrible. And there's just a bar there. There's a bar, you know. I'm like, oh man. Let's see, I want to stay cold or I want to go in the bar, you know. And it was a naughty bar. There was some bad shows going on. And I was like, God, it's really cold, you know. So I went in the bar. And then I started teaching Dharma to these two guys in the bar. It was so fun. And they're like, really? And I've got this pen. And I'm like, and the woman's going like this. You know? And I'm like, yeah, this is pen, you know. And they're, whoa. And then I thought, I have to drop down immediately to Abhidharma language, you know. Like, ding, 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 you know. So use the language that they can understand. And I think it's very important. My teacher taught me you have to respect their parents' wishes. You cannot teach them things that the parents don't want you to teach. So you have to kind of check in with the parents and see what's the level of the parents. And then there's always something you can help. There's always good things you can say. But I think it's respectful to ask the parents or to, you know, so see what the parents' reaction is and adjust your language according to the parents' reaction, you know. But my experience is kids can understand everything. Kids can understand everything. So be bold also. Be bold with them. Don't teach them something the parents don't want you to teach. But don't be scared to say deep things, because kids are really smart. I think every year we add to our life, we get more stupid. So the kids are really smart. Tim, what's up? Half an hour break, you guys. Okay? And relax, go pee-pee, have something to drink. It's not a great time of day to have a class. It's difficult to focus in the evening. So have something to drink. Okay? See you in half an hour. Okay. Yeah, eventually. Let's let the other people go. You can
We don't talk anymore. We don't talk anymore. We don't talk anymore like we used to do. We don't laugh anymore. We don't us all on the phone. We don't talk anymore like we used to do. I can adjust you better tonight if you're scared and the tears just right. The way I do you feel.